Secret Life of Pets Off the Leash, which will open 2020. I think this is worth noting, as it's been long rumored that a Secret Life of Pets ride would take the place of Shrek. And Universal Orlando Resort and Universal Studios Hollywood like to share the same attractions at both parks, such as Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, Flight of the Hippogriff, Revenge of the Mummy, Despicable Me Minion Mayhem, Transformers the Ride 3D, The Simpsons Ride, and Fast and Furious Supercharged. I understand that it's not its own attraction, but it's pretty similar. So in my theory, we could technically get this in place of Shrek in the coming years, possibly, if this does well at Universal Studios Hollywood. What do you think on this?
Shrek, it has a special place in my heart. I love that ride. I've always loved that ride since, it's early. I think it was there close to the start of the park, since it was based on Shrek, maybe 2.
I think Alfred Hitchcock's Presents Movies, or something with him, was there before.
Maybe before that. And then, I don't know, that ride, it's very outdated, so I see why they would be doing this, and if they were gonna...
I'm pretty sure it came out, right after Shrek, a year after.
Yeah, I think it was really close, because it's literally a soundstage that's just converted. So, yeah, it's not... I mean, I don't know how much it would cost to, tear it all down and all that, but I don't think it would really be that bad of a switch of rides. Before, for example, you talked about the Despicable Me thing. At the park in Orlando, that used to be Jimmy Neutron before they switched it.
Yeah, and then before that, Hanna-Barbera. I remember that.
Yeah, yep. So it's the same concept of ride, just new theming to the new modern movies and new modern things that people are watching and doing. So it'd probably be somewhat similar to Shrek, but I do hope they change those seats, because the sound of you galloping on the horses, you can hear the seats more than the actual audio of the ride. So,
but I mean, the Universal Studios, this is a dark ride, like Cat in the Hat, kind of where you're actually moving, while Shrek is all the theater.
Yeah.
Since the Shrek, when they had that at Universal Studios Hollywood, they've now transformed that to a Kung Fu Panda experience. Which, I don't know how I feel about that, but do you feel like it could go either way to Secret Life of Pets, since that could take the place of it? Or do you feel like it could be Kung Fu Panda? What do you think?
So I think this movie is really new, within the last 3 years or something like that.
Yeah, and they have a new one that comes out, I want to say it's June 7th.
Yeah, so it's really soon. I actually saw an ad for that earlier where the cat was just talking about catnip. So at the Orlando park, at least, because I've never actually been to the Hollywood park, Shrek would probably be the only possible location that they could replace such a ride. Since the park is relatively cramped with its rides already. Unless they, opened up the area, so they have their presentation area where they have, concerts and things. And behind that, they have sound stages, and that's where they had the Stranger Things house for Halloween Horror Nights the last session. So they could do something like that, but I think that Kung Fu Panda is not, a really relevant thing anymore. It was relevant for a year or two after the movie, and then it's kind of dissipated over time. So they would probably replace Shrek with it. I'm not the biggest fan of that, though, since I've never seen this movie and it doesn't really seem that good or enjoyable.
You haven't seen The Secret Life of Pets?
I have not seen The Secret Life of Pets.
Dang. This is the first episode. Basil said she never saw Star Wars, and now the second episode, you say you never seen Secret Life of Pets. I'm afraid to ask the third guest for the third episode what he hasn't seen now. Because at this rate, this isn't very good. Alright, so we're going to take a quick break.
Yeah.
And when we come back, we're going to play a game. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
And we're back. And we're going to play a new game. Well, actually, not a new game, but relatively new for this podcast. It's called Changes. Now, I asked my guest, Keegan.
Yep. Hi.
I asked my guest, Keegan, what he would change about anything in that park. Could be attraction, ride, food, any event, anything at all. And so, do you want to go first or me?
Yeah, I'll go right ahead. So one of the rides that's been there since the start of the park is Woody Woodpecker. It's the only remaining ride. Not Woody Woodpecker, E.T. E.T. Yeah, so they can't remove the ride because of a contract with Steven Spielberg, but in the circumstances that contract weren't there, I feel like they could really replace that ride. And maybe they could put like that pet movie in
Secret Life of Pets?
Secret Life of Pets.
That's not a bad idea.
Because it's somewhat of a child's movie, if I'm not wrong, right? Like a younger audience.
Yeah, it's towards more younger audiences.
Like G or PG rating.
Yeah, like Minions and Despicable Me and other stuff like that.
Yeah. So it's something that the younger generation could really like enjoy. And since the ET ride is in a relatively large building, that could definitely be a good replacement for it. And that would probably match with the theming anyway, because it's the younger audience area with like Woody Woodpecker and what was it, Curious George, and other rides like that. So and they also have the big purple dinosaur. What's his name?
Barney.
Barney. Yeah, they have that too, even though that's also really outdated.
And they have animal actors, I think, still.
Yeah, they do. They definitely do.
Alright, so here's the thing. I like the idea, but I don't think they'll do that.
How come?
Only because Despicable Me Minion Mayhem is made by Illuminations,
Okay.
and Secret Life of Pets is also made by Illuminations.
Oh.
So if anything, I think Shrek would still be the best spot for them, because they're the same, like, movie... I wouldn't say franchise. I'd say, like, creators, maybe, I guess. Since they're right across from each other. So then it'd probably be easier for people like, oh, Minions are made by these guys. It looks like the same thing, kind of.
Yeah.
I just feel like it'd be kind of weird for them to put it farther away from them. I still like the idea. That's a way bigger building than Shrek.
Yeah.
And it'd probably be better for them to use that. But I don't know if they actually would still.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, was there any changes that you would make to the park?
My change would be to update one of the best rides they have, Men in Black Alien Attack.
Oh.
I think they need to reboot it like the movie franchise, the new one, Men in Black International.
Yeah.
Which comes out this summer. I think they need to redo the entire ride, update like the aliens and guns and stuff. And instead of Will Smith, and I want to say it was Rip Torn.
I'm not sure, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's that.
Okay.
They should have Chris Hemsworth or Tessa Thompson like be in place of Will Smith, since they're the main stars of it. Whichever, I don't know, is cheaper. And then they gotta have Liam Neeson on as Rip Torn's voice, saying all the instructions like they do on the ride. At least make it similar to the new reboot. Hopefully that does well.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I think that would really help the park, and it would definitely help that ride. That's actually one of my favorite rides of the entire park. Even though it's so simplistic, it's a competitive game, and so like some of those laser guns, they don't work as well as they used to, and like it is an outdated ride. And I think they should definitely have like a cameo for Will Smith, at least somewhere in the ride, like they do with Steven Spielberg currently.
Maybe they could replace him with Will Smith.
Possibly. Yeah. Or maybe he's like in a photograph somewhere on like a wall or something like really obscure like that. So he's at least there.
They'd probably do that like as it transforms into an alien or something, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But like that has so much potential because of like all the new animatronic things they can do and like all the new technology they have access to. So like they could completely redesign the ride and just blow it away.
I don't think it'll happen. I wish it would.
Yeah, I don't either.
Depending on how much money it makes, Universal maybe could, but then at the same time, it seems like they're shifting their focus from Universal Studios, Studios and Islands of Adventure kind of to their new park.
Volcano Bay.
And maybe that what's it called? The Kids Zone, like you talked about with E.T. and Barney and Woody Woodpecker and Curious George. I feel like they're focusing on more of that possibly in the coming years, and their new park. So I don't think Men in Black could get updated, depending on how much money it makes at the box office. I think it all depends on that.
You know, right next to that ride is Fear Factor Live, and that's also something that's completely out of date now.
There's a lot of things that need to get rid of.
Yeah, you know, it's just, the park's been around for so long, so, like, it's kind of hard for them to renovate everything, and it's expensive, too.
That, too, and they don't have, like, the biggest space possible
Yeah.
to do whatever they want, which kind of sucks, too.
I mean, like, yeah, like, they just barely squeezed in Diagon Alley, right, in the back of the park, and then they have the train station there, so they can't really expand out too much, because then it'll interfere with the train. Because it's an actual train.
I know there's been rumors, though. I think it was something Harry Potter related. Ministry of Magic, that's it. Ministry of Magic going where Fear Factor is and expanding on from Diagon Alley area.
What? Oh, I've never heard of that. Oh, that's awesome. That'd be great if that happened.
That'd be a big area. I don't know what ride they could do, but I think it would be more of Fantastic Beast or Ministry of Magic.
And where to find them, yeah.
But I don't think they will, because it seems like Fantastic Beast could be one of the lands in the new Fantastic Worlds, I think it's called, the new park they're building.
Yeah, something like that. So, yeah, I would love to see that change. That would be such a great use of that area. But, yeah, it's all up to the curators of the park and the people, because it's basically just all about money. And so if it's good, yeah. So I was gonna say, if it's profitable, like the movie itself, and then if they think it'll probably be implemented, because then they'd have to also tear down some of the areas for Diagon Alley to connect it, or it'd just be its own separate thing. So yeah.
So speaking of replacements, we'll just talk about one more and then we'll just end it here.
Okay.
What do you think is replacing the Terminator show? Because that was supposed to open this year. We still haven't heard anything about it. It's probably pushed back now to 2020, since Hagrid seemed to move up. What do you think is going to replace it, since it's always been rumors and nobody knows still?
You know, Terminator hasn't had a really good comeback in a while.
That's going to suck, though, if Universal's new Terminator movie does really well at the box office and they just got rid of it.
And then they just canceled it, yeah, for the park. Yeah, that would not be a good marketing thing or marketing view. Jurassic World had a good box office payout since it was a big reboot of the whole Jurassic Park storyline. So I feel like something along those lines, or another popular Universal movie. I haven't been really up. Oh, no, wait. No, Star Wars is with Disney, not Universal. So
I know the rumors have suggested Star Trek.
Oh, yeah. I saw that, actually, yeah.
Yeah, Star Trek or Jason Bourne, which I'm not sure
Bourne
is that great of a franchise for a theme
Yeah,
park.
I think Star Trek is just too old for the theme park.
But they've had all these new ones. They've had so many Star Treks, it'd be kind of hard to pick who to cast for it to be on the Star Trek for the attraction.
Yeah, and then, you know...
That might be a
Yeah.
problem. I don't know.
Another thing, I believe a while back, they struck a deal with Nintendo to, like, they got some of the rights to, like, use the characters in their park. So, they could implement, like, Nintendo characters. So you'd have, like, Mario walking down the street or something. Or maybe it's, like, a whole new area. Maybe that's what their new park is going to be centered around, is Nintendo. That'd be insane.
Maybe. Alright, so I think we'll end it here. Thanks for coming on the second episode.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.